What is one of the most coveted possessions of Mary Poppins? Her magical carpeted bag. It's one bag, it has everything you could possibly need in it. What if you could travel like that? You carry one bag, no bigger than a carry-on, and it has everything in it that you need and not one thing more.
My name's Kyle and this is Bailey. We're the Dream to Journey family. We're a digital nomad family who've spent over a year living out of carry-ons with our kids, as we've traveled to over a dozen countries. And today we're here to talk to you about how to make carry-on only travel work for your family.
When our firstborn was about 4 months old, we decided to take a week-long trip to California. We flew from our home state in Utah to California in nothing but carry-ons. A few months later, we're getting ready to go to Europe. This time we're planning to stay for about a year, and we were looking at our luggage and we realized it's the exact same amount of luggage, carry-ons for both. And what we didn't realize is that the same amount of things that you need for a week-long trip is the exact same amount of things that you need for a long extended trip.
You know, at first we were doubtful. We really were. We were kind of doing it as an experiment, to see, hey, can we really make this work? Because in reality, traveling carry-on only is just so much easier and cheaper and allows you to be so much more flexible. And that's what we hope to talk to you about today. Okay, so why carry-on only travel? Well, for us, honestly, the biggest thing is it comes down to cost. You save so much money by not having to pay for checked luggage. Especially, we're doing a lot of flights. Like when we're out traveling, we're flying at least 2 or 3 times a month. With each of those flights, just trying to reduce those fees, it really adds up and saves you a lot of money over time. And secondly, it's just easier to get around when you're packing less, especially when your arms are full with your kiddos. Having an extra hand free to help them on and off trains and buses and onto the planes and into their seats and everything is so handy. And so to not have 2 hands on that chucked luggage, lugging it up and down the stairs in the subways in Paris, but instead just using, that carry-on and getting it up and down is so much easier, and it saves your back. I've pulled muscles carrying luggage around. I pulled a muscle on my wrist when we were in London. So I can't imagine the toll it would have on my body if we tried to do checked luggage. It would just be too much.
Probably our proudest lesson that we've learned from packing this way is that you are simple. You can unpack and pack in about 8 minutes, and you feel totally settled in. Your kids start looking around and they don't know a single difference between having a whole suitcase to themselves or having a few of their most prized toys. And it takes maybe a few seconds to clean it all up at the end of the day. And our last thought is that we truly are proud to be able to pack all of our important possessions into a few things into our back. You start looking around at the other people who are also in backpacks and you think, we're working hard. We're together on this. We put blood, sweat, and tears into these backpacks, and they are our life. And there's like a community behind the backpackers of travelers.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times it's happened where we've showed up to a stay and the owners or hosts or whatever look at us and say, is this really all you have?
Where are your bags?
Yeah, where are your bags? And we say, here they are. Here's our two carry-ons, and how we usually travel for us, right, is I'll have a carry-on, Bailey will have a carry-on. Our daughters will share a carry-on. We have 2 young daughters. And then we have a personal item that we call our tech bag with all of our technology in it. So it's easier to pull in and out when you're going through security. A memory we have where we were very, very thankful that we were traveling carry-on only is when we visited the small town of Hallstatt in Austria. So when we were traveling that day, we decided to go from where we were staying outside of Salzburg, traveling up to the small lake town village of Hallstatt, and then down to the country's capital of Vienna in one single day. And we weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it. If you haven't done that or you're not familiar with that route, there are a ton of transfers. In that day alone, we traveled in a bus, on 2 different trains, on a boat to and from the town, and then on 4 different trains to get from Hallstatt down to Vienna. At this time, we just had 1 daughter, and so we were carrying her around as well with a stroller. And there is just absolutely no way we could have done that with checked luggage. It would just simply could not have been possible. Just the amount of transfers alone, moving the luggage up and down into storage lockers in those trains, onto the boat, off the boat, and then around town. We had to take them around Hallstatt with us. It just would have there's no way we could have done it. And we would have had to have said no to this incredible experience. But we were able to do it because we had decided to travel light. And from that point on, I mean, we have really committed to it. In this winter alone, we traveled to Mexico. And between us four, so myself, my wife, and our two daughters, we had one carry-on and 3 personal items. And so I'm telling you, you can make it happen.
We wouldn't be truly honest if we didn't share some of the downsides of traveling carry-on only. For one thing, I love to collect souvenirs. I'm a completely nostalgic person, and so picking up knickknacks here and there is totally up my alley. But having limited storage to bring it home makes it difficult to be able to pull the trigger and get those souvenirs. So we do miss out on bringing home some of the bigger or more fun souvenirs. It didn't stop us every single time. On our second to last stay, we were in Istanbul, and very well known are the Turkish rugs. We went shopping for a Turkish rug, more just out of the experience, but ended up meeting a very persuasive Turkish gentleman who got us to walk away with a carpet, as if we had all the space in the world to bring it home. So somehow we were able to combine our bare basics, our true essentials, into one carry-on and leave Kyle's carry-on completely empty so that we could fold and smash and vacuum seal the Turkish rug into one carry-on. And it was so heavy, but we just felt like we were sneaking it home. Nobody knew we had a rug in our backpack, and the look on security's face was just priceless.
And speaking of security, getting through TSA as you're going through in and out of the airports, you've got to take all the tech items out of your bags. You got to take all the baby formula and all the baby food out of the bags and into their own bins. And by the time you're done, I'm telling you, we have a whole train. It's like a dozen or so of the bins filled with our stuff as it's going through the security. And it's a little bit of a circus, I'm not going to lie.
We get put in this special line to get checked by that really big security guard every single time.
Yeah, because it's a little suspicious, the amount of things we try to pack onto the plane.
I just wait for one security guard to say, "Is this your bag, ma'am? Please step this way."
Yeah, we're used to it by now. It's just part of the drill. And then, of course, once you've got it all through security, you've got to get on the plane and then get it up in the overhead bins. And that can be tough, you know, if it's a packed plane and you've got your kids and you're trying to manage them and get them into their seats and then shove your luggage all into the overhead bins, and they're oftentimes full. It can be pretty stressful and hard on your body.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that I had an empty space under the seat in front of me to be able to stretch my legs out.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. When was the last time that you used everything that you packed for a trip?
Go ahead, comment with your answer down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
The daily reality of living out of a carry-on is that you are either wearing something clean, packing something dirty, or washing something. I do laundry probably 2 times a week just to allow ourselves to have enough clothes to carry on, especially with kids.
Yeah, so it just takes a lot of work. You really got to stay on top of that laundry if you want clean clothes to wear the next day. Because when you don't have much, you know, that you're packing around with you, you can't just throw it in the bin and put on something new. You know, you really have to stay on top of it. So we have to be really intentional about the clothes that we do bring. Like, we have to lay them all out and make sure that all the shirts go with all the different pairs of pants and shorts that you have, because you're going to mix and match. So you just have to make them work together.
Fabric types like heathered shirts tend to hide stains a little bit better, as well as textures. Things like, sweater knit, waffle knit, things like that kind of help change the angle of the stain.
Yeah, help blend it in.
Yeah. Kid stuff is tough. This is what really got me hung up on the idea of wanting to go travel with my family, because I just felt like I need my things to handle my kid. I really felt like after we got traveling, our daughter really came to love it too. She learned how to rest when she needed to. She learned how to nap in unique beds every other night or so. And our second daughter, we started doing the same with her, and she's going to learn how to do it just like her sister did. Shopping for kids is always fun, and there are always things to buy them on the go. You don't need to bring toys from home, because you will find toys on the go that are memorable and fun, and your kids get to be a part of the picking out process. Managing diapers and baby food and kid-specific things will come and go as you're out traveling because everywhere you go, they have kids too, and they need places to buy diapers and baby snacks and little utensils. You name it, you will find it. You don't need to bring it from home.
And to keep everything organized and easier to unpack and to actually get it to fit in those carry-ons at times is we use packing cubes and at times those handy dandy little compression bags. So highly recommend those.
Today, we are going to share a secret weapon with you. I have here my very precious list of everything that we need per person, and I've condensed it down into a nice general list for you. You need one PJ. These clothes can kind of double as like your recreational clothes or your relax at home clothes, but something that you can sleep in and only one. You need one pair of tennis shoes and one pair of comfortable shoe around the house to kind of give your feet a break and rotate what kind of shoes you wear. You need socks and underwear, basic. Everyone knows that, or at least you should. You need 3 pairs of pants, 4 shirts, preferably 2 short sleeve, 2 long sleeve. You need 1 light rain jacket or windbreaker. And for women, 1 dress. And for men, 1 button-up shirt. There you go. You got it.
Yep, that's what we do for 90% of our trips. Sometimes we bring a swimsuit, or if it's really cold, we make sure to pack a coat. So you can just kind of work those into your packing list.
And to see our full list of travel essentials for kids, you can find our Amazon storefront and start shopping there.
Yep, link is in the description below.
Traveling in carry-on only has really changed the mindset that we have towards stuff. We really pride ourselves on not being overconsumers. We want our home to be a clean and happy place for our family. We want it to be full of memories and good experiences, and we don't feel like things is where that comes from. And whether that's packing for a trip and choosing to be very intentional about what you bring or bringing things home and filling your home, either way, you've got to make sure that it is exactly what you need and that it can be used for more than one purpose.
So we would encourage you to give it a go on your next trip and let us know how it goes. Feel free to drop any additional comments or questions down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of content, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and as always, dream big and enjoy the journey.